Travel diaries straight from Estonia. Lahima National Forest, to be more precise. This is my tent. Have you seen my tent? My tent. So this week's been a very important week in terms of reflecting. Maybe, I don't even know if it was exactly a week, but let's say a week ago I decided to become a bit more introvert and to start really looking inwards. I don't know, it's like inside sometimes I feel very like something's boiling and I can't put my thoughts into. I felt like I had a lot of ideas and a lot of things, but they were all like tangled inside me, and I needed some time to almost like block myself from exterior influences, like from people, from things that happened, Instagram, even WhatsApp. I was checking WhatsApp infrequently just to make sure that my family's okay. And I was just trying to organize my thoughts, and it was amazing. And then I was walking around with like this little notepad that I brought over, and I was literally walking around with it all the time. So whenever I felt like writing something down, I would just write it down. It doesn't matter how stupid or silly or in which language I was writing, I would just like jolt it down. And it's quite interesting to go through it now, because it's been almost like a bit of a trance experience I can't explain. In the process, I also did a walk called the Mykivi trail, which is basically you hop on a bike from the hostel. I'm in an eco hostel, if you're not aware. You hop on a bike and then you cycle for 35-ish minutes. Then you get into this trail, which is a loop trail in the middle of the forest here in Estonia. And what I did is, so another volunteer who was here, she did it before, and she said, like, when you go, take your shoes off and do the trail barefoot, and then you will see it's an experience. And then I was like, okay, fine. So then when I got there, I didn't know what to expect in terms of what the experience would be. I was like, might as well. The floor, like the ground was dry, so it was fine. So I took my shoes off, and then I started walking, and it was like this, I can't explain. It was beautiful because it's in the middle of the forest. You don't hear, sometimes you hear voices from people who are starting the trail at the beginning, but you don't hear anything. You only hear the sounds of nature, and your feet are touching the ground and the leaves and like the pieces of like pines that we have here. And it was such an amazing experience. I felt so connected, and I felt it was like a flow. Something was going in, like in my body through my feet and leaving my body through my feet as well. There was no weed in the process, by the way. This was not me smoking and being super high. This is literally just the contact with nature. And I think because it'd been a couple of days into this process of looking inwards, I think I was in the right like mindset for it. And it was beautiful. I wrote a lot of things while I was doing it. And in the middle there's like there's a name for it, I'm not gonna remember it, but it's like a giant rock that is just there. No one knows how he ended up there, and there was a sign saying that it's probably been there since the Ice Age. And you can climb up on the rock and just sit there, and that energy was incredible. Even though there were tourists and there was people taking pictures there, still the energy was incredible. I need to say that you can do that with the shoes on. You might not feel the same way, or you might do. You might be able to connect with nature and feel good. But even if you don't, I know some people don't believe this sort of energy thing, and they're a bit more skeptical. There's a car. Some people are a bit more skeptical, which is fine. I respect as well. But do it either way. The nature is pretty. You might see some animals as well. I've heard people have seen, and I didn't see them when I went. I actually might do it again, because I'm leaving in 4 days. I think I'll do it again. Yes. And yeah, I definitely recommend it. It's a beautiful, beautiful experience. In terms of the work, this week was a strange week because we closed down for a day. The owner wanted to have a bit of time off, and we didn't have any guests, so I had like 2 days off of the cooking shift, so I didn't have to cook at all for 2 days. And then yesterday, so I've got an alarm that is set like at 4:30 every day, because 4:30 is when I start. So basically I start cooking at 4:30 in the afternoon until 8:30 when everybody's eating. And then I turned the alarm off because I knew I was going to have 2 days off. And I forgot to turn it back on. So yesterday I was here editing a video for a friend, and it was 6 p.m. and we served dinner at 7:30. And then the other girl who works here, she was like knocking on my tent, and she was like, it's 6 p.m. Where are you? I'm like, shit. And then yeah, they helped me. The owners of the hostel gave me a hand, and we did manage to serve. So what was on the menu yesterday? It was roast potatoes with roast squash. I made hummus, because that's my new speciality, hummus, yes. And I made bread for the hummus, obviously. The bread that I make is not actually like the pita bread or the naan bread from India. I make quesadilla bread because it's easier. What else? We had like a wine and carrot reduction. I think that's it. Yeah, it was pretty simple. And then I made a coffee chocolate cake with coconut flakes on top for dessert. That's a very easy recipe. Yeah, so it's been quite easy in terms of volunteer work. In terms of my proofreading work, I've been taking it very, very, very easy. When I got here, it was close to like the cut-off date for the paid date for this month, so for August. And I was like working like mad, trying to get as much money in August as possible. And then in September, I was like, I don't give a shit now. I've got enough money. I've literally not spent a single euro since I arrived, because all the meals are included. You're in the forest. There's nothing to buy. So literally, I've spent nothing. And I was like, fuck it then. I'm just going to enjoy life. And then yeah, I've just been through this journey in the past 4 days, going to the beach, sitting down and just thinking about things and writing everything down. I went to the clay lake and wrote everything down as well. Just trying to set myself. It's almost like this is how I feel. It might not make any sense to you, but I'm gonna try and explain. I feel like I was like a derailed train, and I was still going forward because I had to, but I was kind of like going everywhere and not really with like a certain direction or a goal or anything. And I had all these ideas in my head, which I would think of something and then move on to the next thing, and worry so much about money, about work, and it was almost like, hang on a minute, stop, let's put everything down and maybe try and organize my thoughts, which I think I have done. One of the things that came out of that process was these videos.